All right, welcome everybody to this edition of the first show of Saturdaze with McVay and Jay. I'm Jason DECANIO, and my co-host is Scott McVay. And
Hello.
how you doing?
We're
This,
doing all good.
yeah, this is Saturday night, March 2nd, 2024. Here starts something new, as
Yep.
the late Charles Kuralt always used to say on the first show of Sunday morning. Yeah, we're in our program of variety and all fun stuff, and we're here tonight to give you that variety. And nobody knew exactly what we were going to be giving to them because usually on the first show we just kind of like have to kind of just play it by ear. But by next week you'll know what's going down because some of the stuff will have it be on a regular basis. Some of it will be once a week, every other week.
Yep.
Wherever it can fill in. And of course, if you'd like to be a special guest with us on the program, give us about a week before you'd like to come on, and we'll definitely fill you in, and you'll be part of the entire program for that hour with me and Scott. So,
There you go.
yeah, that's right. So, I always wanted to do a program with somebody, and now I got to finally do this kind of format.
Yay.
You
And
know,
I'm the lucky guy you chose.
I am very grateful, first of all, that you are, taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you've got, other engagements that you put on the back burner for this show.
Yeah.
And I asked you, if what would be a good time to do this. And when we thought up the premise of this show, we thought, an hour each week, 9 o'clock, Saturday night. I'm not doing anything. You're not doing anything.
Pretty much, no.
Let's interact with our audience, and have some fun here and do things and kind of just sit back and have a stress-free time because it's the weekend,
Exactly.
That's true. So now let's see. As you probably don't know, I'm from Oviedo, Florida, and was born and raised in Queens, New York. Scott, are you originally from Kansas?
Yeah, well, not originally. Actually, I was born in Oklahoma, and I lived in Oklahoma the first 6 or so years of my life. Then moved to Nebraska, lived there until I was 11, just about the end of fifth grade.
Uh-huh.
And I've been in Kansas ever since, though. So there you go.
So you jumped 3 states.
Pretty much, yeah. But I've stayed in the same generic area, though. So there you go.
Right. Have you ever been down to to the southern states, north, west?
Yes, I actually was in Florida. I went 8 years ago to Disney World. And I guess you could say most recently I popped it through Florida again on the way over through a nice Caribbean cruise I took a few months ago.
Yeah. And when you pop into Orlando International Airport, folks, you're not that far from me. Maybe a 35-minute trip, stop by and see me. We love to have the company. I keep telling my friends the same thing. They're always like, I'm taking a trip out to Florida. I'm like, well, so-and-so, I'm only 35 minutes away from Orlando. Let's hang out,
There you go.
You haven't seen me in like 20 some odd years. These are like high school, classmates. And, that whole thing of when you get on Facebook for the very first time, who are the first people to friends request you? Your classmates from high school.
Mm-hmm.
They see you on there and they just want to throw friends requests at you like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say that 70%, maybe even 80% of the friends that I have on Facebook as of this date right now are from the graduating class of 1995.
I see. Yeah. Well, in my case, it's a little different than that. I have actually been very big in the Central Plains area anime convention scene here for the past, gosh, it's now 16 plus years now, actually. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the friends I made on Facebook actually were originally people from the convention scenes and all that there, as well as some good friends I made from like Kansas City and other places like that as well, though. Right. Eventually, I would get some of the classmates, but that would take a while for those to happen as well there.
Well, there you go. And so, yeah. And then, like I said, I haven't been back to New York and I don't know, since my grand passed back in 2006. So that's going to be 18 years this year that I have not had a trip back up to the northern part of the United States. And I wouldn't even go back now considering what's going on over there, let alone anywhere else. It's just too dangerous to travel, knowing that if I went back to my hometown, would I survive?
Ooh,
am I asking for trouble going back to my hometown to go visit people?
Who knows?
I know, because most of my classmates are still up there with family and their kids, and I
Yeah.
came down here some 28 years ago, and I've literally had to kind of grind it out.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was tough getting used to the conditions of living in Florida, but then I've kind of had to slowly kind of make my way into it. Do I like living in Florida? Well, right now, compared to what what I left in New York, yeah, but there are
True.
some days I still would like to go back and enjoy the delicious food. I think that if I could commute 6 months and stay down here and then go up there when the weather was warmer and it was too hot there, I would definitely do that. If I could
That's
just,
true.
And not have to worry about, okay, finding work because I had all the money in the world if I was so rich to that point.
Right. Exactly.
But unfortunately, that dream may not ever happen. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. But so now you can tell our background is an interesting one. We found an interesting background of roadways and, I don't. What did we say that we're coming up with this background with?
I thought this was like a cityscape at night, though, kind of like when you have the roads in there. Just when you want to just relax and you just take a leisurely drive there in the evening, listen to some good music there while you go through on the highway there as well.
Or if you're not the driver, then you listen to this, you watch this podcast with us Saturday night. You're on a long trip and somebody else is driving. You can have our show, feeding through your Bluetooth.
Pretty much, yeah.
Be able to take an hour out of your night, especially on the road. It kind of gets boring too. For all those truckers out there that, drive freight and everything, they have to, stop and rest because they can't be out there no more than 14 hours a day. So they stops. And so this is a perfect time for you guys who, if you're at a truck stop and you need to, to chill and unwind and everything, this is one of those podcasts that we have lots of great things within the hour to do. So, and if you'd like to submit an idea for our show, hey, just drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Now, one of the things we will have here on a weekly basis is the news of the weird, and we're going to look at that first off. How about that?
Right? Yes.
So let me go ahead and get the share screen up, and
all right,
we'll have it. This, of course, is by the editors of Andrews McMeel Syndication.
Okay.
Or uexpress.com. These come out every Friday, and if you watch DMS 3000 News, you definitely know that I cover these things every Monday because it's just easy to do it that way. It gives it time for them to upload the story and everything. Well, the first story that we're going to look at is the one that I was telling you about, that Willy Wonka chocolate experience that became that scam. Remember, that was a true story, and it turned out to be the lead story in their weird. So let me go ahead and read it for you. To an event billed as Willy's Chocolate Experience on February 24th in Glasgow, Scotland, children and parents were so underwhelmed that police were called. The New York Times reported that the event, which promised Willy Wonka-themed chocolate fountains, performances by Oompa Loompas, and optical marvels. I don't know is it really Oompa Loompa or Oompa Lumpa or what?
Oompa Loompa. That's how it is.
Loompa, yeah. I mean, some people say Oompa Lumpa. Oh my God, a Loompa Lumpa. Optical marvels turned out to offer just a few jelly beans in a nearby, nearly empty warehouse.
Yeah.
Stuart Sinclair, who paid about $44 per ticket to bring his kids to the show, said it amounted to maybe 20 chairs, a couple of tables, and a half-inflated bouncy castle. Oh,
no.
Jenny Fogarty, who was hired to play an Oompa Loompa, said she was given a 15-page script the night before and that the wigs were very cheap. The organizer canceled the event on Saturday afternoon. It was unclear who had called police. The event organizer, House of Illuminati.
Oh, no. That's a problem. That's what it's like.
Oh my gosh! I would have exposed these people and given bad reviews on Facebook or somewhere else, like Google reviews.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! So, and what's your partake of this when you saw this article?
Yeah, this was pretty. I mean, I saw a couple pictures of this, and it looked pretty lackluster, especially when you can essentially still see a lot of light coming through the top of you could tell this was some effort put in, but just not a lot, to be honest there. And Yeah, I agree with all the people saying this is not what we were expecting for the price, though. So there you go.
Exactly. So for that, we can definitely we can definitely throw in a little bit of a, one of these.
Yeah, there you go.
We can throw in that, and then basically, yep, die right on the platform. There you
Yeah,
go.
pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Next up on the startups.
Ooh.
Yes. All right. The next one up here is this one here. This one right here, where the cutoff is. February 19th, neighbors in an apartment building in Wierzoro,
Oh, Poland.
Poland. Wow. Became alarmed as a 19-year-old man tried to lead a full-grown horse up the stairs to his third floor home.
Oh, God, no.
Dance reported police were called to the building and determined that the mare, worth about $3,800, had been stolen. Figures.
Whoops.
She was returned to the owner, and the horse thief was charged with theft. He faces 5 years in prison.
Yikes.
Why do they always have to live on the third floor of an apartment complex?
Wow. And why did this guy think he could keep a horse inside a small apartment? Good grief.
I mean, come on, man. Now we know that's really sick. So there you go.
Exactly, yeah.
Boing too, Anytime it's that weird, we'll give it a boing. And the next one is details have recently emerged about the incident in Willow Springs, Missouri in November. The Springfield News Leader reported the Howell County Sheriff's Office had investigated after a man in his 60s who was a paraplegic lost his feet while brush hogging. Oh, my God.
Whoa.
Okay. It was a poorly executed plan, said Lieutenant Torrey Thompson. He said it was clear almost immediately that the accident had been staged. The cuts were very clean. The feet were nowhere to be found, and the tourniquets had been applied to both legs. Allegedly, the victim had help from a man from Florida. Figure.
Yeah.
Cut off the feet with a hatchet to help him commit insurance fraud. However, since the unnamed man never filed a claim and he was so severely injured, the sheriff's office declined to charge him. And the missing feet? A couple of days later, we got a call that a relative found them in a bucket obscured by tires, so we went and got them, Thompson said. Mystery solved. Oh, my God. Really?
Oh,
Does that kind of speak it or what? What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, you can tell this was trying to get like an insurance scam or something like that, though. So this was a big failure and all that there as well. So
yeah, definitely a boing on that one too. Okay, next up, the golden age of air travel. Oh gosh.
Oh dear.
February 13th, as a Delta flight soared from Amsterdam to Detroit, maggots began falling from an overhead compartment onto passengers below. You saw this one?
I remember hearing about this story here. It's because they were transporting fish. Yeah, they were transporting fish from Amsterdam, and apparently it must have got rotten while I was going through. So
The Guardian reported that Philip Shute was on the flight, said attendants traced the source to a bag stowed above, found a rotten fish wrapped in newspaper, right?
Yeah.
He removed the offending item, and the pilot announced that the plane would be returning to Amsterdam. Apologizing, Delta said the passengers were placed on another flight and the plane was removed for service for cleaning. Thank God. Passengers were also given 8,000 air miles, hotel room compensation, and a $30 meal ticket. But who's hungry after that event?
Yeah, I know. I mean, don't you think the smell of rotten fish would kill your appetite right now?
I mean, I tell you what, man, it's like if you were shoved up in an overhead compartment, you would probably stink for all that time too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, man. You'd be dying on the board like Pac-Man. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a boing and died on the platform. There we go.
Exactly, yeah.
Sri Lankan Airlines was forced to ground one of its Airbus A330 planes for 3 days after a rat was spotted on the aircraft.
Oh, no.
So we went from fish to rats.
Oh, God.
United Press International reported on February 27th, the rodent was seen during a flight from Lahore, Pakistan to Colombo, Sri Lanka. Workers sprayed the plane with poison, and technicians checked wiring for damage done by chewing.
Of course.
Is it getting to the point where even air travel, the rats even want to get the hell out of wherever they are?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Holy cow. We went from dead fish to rats to who knows what else,
That's true. Yeah.
My gosh. Well, there you go. All right. Well, you might have missed the first ever Florida Man Games in St. Augustine on February 24th, but it's never too early to plan for next year. Sure, everything happens in Florida, and I don't even know about half of it,
There you go.
United Press International reported that hundreds of people paid $55 each for a ticket to watch Floridians compete in a mullet contest in a Florida sumo event where competitors tried to spill each other's beers. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Ooh. I think that'd be more than just a friendly event if you drop somebody's beer purposely. I think you might be shot.
There you go.
Other events include a pork butt eating contest, a race that simulated stealing a bike, and an evading arrest obstacle course. One winning team walked away with the $5,000 prize. Cheapskates. Why couldn't it be $100,000 for what the hell you have to go through?
No kidding.
We understand that Florida is weird, says Pete Melfi, organizer of the event. We embrace it.
Yeah, well, it's no secret that every time you get some kind of weird news story, half the time it's usually going to involve some guy in Florida. We don't know why, but it usually does. That's probably one reason why years ago they came up with the idea of a meme called Florida Man. So there you go.
Yeah, and all I have to say about that is,
yeah, exactly.
yeah, for what it's worth, no thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. All right. Next up is try the decaf. Oh, boy. Must have something to do with coffee.
Yeah.
30-year-old Brandy Gotch of Peoria, Arizona. Okay, so we're not in Florida now. Told police that her children were being bullied by other kids, and she reported it to the school and law enforcement. But nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened. So on February 27th, she took matters into her own hands. CBS 5 TV reported with her 4 children in her Silverado, Gotch drove to a local park where she allegedly approached a group of kids and started yelling at them. Police said Gotch grabbed a 14-year-old boy by the hair and yanked his head back and forth as she yelled at him, then grabbed a stick from her truck and chased him, yelling, "I'm going to kill you and run you over." She then drove back into her truck and drove it toward the group of kids, running over a girl's ankle in the process.
Ooh.
Although she told police she didn't think she hit the girl. "I hope I didn't," she said. Her own children told police they were bouncing all over the truck during her jaunt through the park. Gotch was charged with 6 counts of endangerment, 4 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and 1 count of attempted first-degree murder.
Oh no.
Well, there goes her chances of ever getting a job now that she's got a criminal record if she gets charged with all of it and found guilty in courts.
Call child services. Oh no.
Yeah, all I can say is you just pretty much died on the platform, lady.
Pretty much, she did.
Yep, she really basically just, okay. Here we go. Legend says that if the 7 ravens who protect the Tower of London, 6 + 1 spare, as decreed by King Charles II, ever leave the landmark, the tower will crumble and the kingdom of England will fall. So it's no surprise that the tower has a Raven Master. A 56-year-old Michael Barney Chandler has just been installed in the job, the Associated Press reported. Now, Chandler, former Royal Marine, who said, "We don't know if the prophecy is true or not because we're never let the number drop below 6, and it's not going to happen while I'm here." As the 6th holder of the post, Chandler will be in charge of 4 other beef feeders who look after the ravens. You never know what they're going to do, he said. They're totally different personality-wise.
Yeah.
His favorite is Poppy, who hops up to him to accept a treat of a dead mouse now and again.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, the bird's feathers are trimmed so they can't fly away.
I think that's the reason why. So there you go.
No wonder, for that matter, right?
Yeah. Hey, why not? If you got a superstition that works, why mess with it?
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
In Rye, New Hampshire, Lillian Eden celebrated her 25th birthday, although she is 100 years old.
Oh, I think I know what's going on here.
Says, I feel 25 until I started trying to walk. According to WMUR TV, I can't believe I lived this age. I really can't. She was feted with lunch and cupcakes.
Let me guess. Leap year, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. Yep. Our brother and sister, who were both born on leap day 4 years apart, are getting to celebrate the unusual birthday for the first time. 8-year-old Omri Demchek and his sister Scout, 4, celebrated with more than 50 people at the coffee shop their parents own in Brooklyn.
Ooh.
Now, most years, the family celebrate Omri's birthday on February 28th and Scout's on March 1st. Mom, Lindsay Demchak, said neither of the Leap kids were due on the special day. It was truly serendipitous.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I have to admit, it's amazing to have one kid born on leap day, but both of them? That's amazing, though.
That's true. And she told the New York Post that that was the whole reason. And finally, issue 12 of France's La Bougie de Sapure, or the Sapper's Candle. I don't know. My French is so bad.
Yeah.
The BBC reported, which is kind of a big deal because it is printed only on February 29th. I heard about this.
Yeah.
It's every 4 years. The specific issue comes out every 4 years. And yeah, the first edition was in 1980. Editor Jean D'Indy said the 20-page tabloid is put out by a few pals. We meet in a bar and toss around ideas over drinks. We have a lot of, and if the reader does too, that's the icing on the cake. It has a print run of 200,000, cost about €5, and is not available online.
Ah, darn it.
So
I would have read it online. That would be actually awesome, though.
So if you were on a flight via Air France and you're on a leap year, you get that issue.
Yes.
Of course, you're a lifetime member, and then you don't have to worry about the subscription fee either.
There you go, though.
That's it.
Well, I might have a couple of things I want to share too. So you're thinking this is actually pretty interesting, though. So
all right. Well, let me close up. Let me close this here. All right. There's the news of the weird, and that ends that. Okay, Scott.
All right. You will see here this nice little pub. This is cheers to being crooked again. A quirky English pub got bulldozed after a fire to rebuild as it was. The owners of a quirky 18th century British pub unlawfully bulldozed it after a mysterious fire last year, were ordered on Tuesday by a local council to rebuild it and to stick to its original lopsided dimensions. The watering holes, known as the Crooked House for its leaning walls and tilting foundation, favored by many locals in the village of Himley in central England, was gutted by a fire and subsequently demolished back in last August. Its demise set in many in the village, which is about 210 kilometers or 130 miles northwest of London, and became the subject of a criminal investigation. 3 people were arrested and later released on bail in connection with the blaze, but no one was charged. In a statement, the South Staffordshire Council said it had, quote, engaged with the owners, unquote, and now ordered the pub to be rebuilt back to what it was prior to the fire by February of 2027, or to face prosecution by failing to comply.
Wow.
The notice was served on owners Adam and Carly Taylor and the company's secretary of ATE Farms, which bought the inn. They have 30 days to appeal the notice. Now, the fire took place 2 weeks after the pub was sold to the operator Marston's, and 2 days later, and before a cause could be determined, the pub got bulldozed without authorization. That raised questions among the local residents.
Yeah.
Roger Lees, the leader of the council, praised campaigners whose aim is to see the Crooked House back to its former glory, unquote. More than 35,000 people joined the Save the Crooked House, Let's Get It Rebuilt Facebook page. And Lees says this: we have not taken this action lightly, but we believe that it is right to bring the owners who demolished the building without consent to account, and we are committed to do what we can to get the Crooked House rebuilt.
Bravo.
And it continues here. So let's see. We have the mayor of the wider West Midlands region named Andy Street, who had supported the pub's reconstruction, welcomed the decision in a post on the X platform, formerly Twitter, saying, fantastic work for South Staffordshire Council. Now, the pub was originally built as a farmhouse back in 1765. It started sinking on one side as a result of extensive coal mining in the area. That's part of England's region widely known as the Black Country, and which is a reference to its industrial mining heyday in the mid-19th century. Back in 1830, it became a pub, and it was called the Sidon House. Sidon, of course, meaning crooked in the local dialect. Then, of course, in the 1940s, it was renamed Glynn Arms, Glynne, but it was condemned as unsafe and scheduled for demolition until a forebear of Marston's bought it, and then made it safe. Then it got renamed to the Crooked House and became a tourist attraction that drew visitors to admire its odd structure. One side stands about 1.2 meters or 4 feet lower than the other.
Wow.
Now there is only 3 years to go until the pub rises again, and thirsty regulars can sip a beer or two.
Well, I certainly do hope that they get this settled as soon as possible, because it could linger in the courts for years, months. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, exactly that though. Let's see here.
Oh my gosh! And that was and how recent was this article?
Just like a few days ago. According to, let me go back to the page here again if I can find it again. This article came about, let's see here, if I can get past the thing here.
Yeah.
Says World News. I'm guessing this was just a few days ago. The image you see was back from July of 2023. So this must have been just a few days ago. In fact, it came out on the February 27th when the news came out. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get up another one real quickly for you guys. This one's interesting here.
Okay.
Here's one called Totally Cold is Not Too Cold for Winter Swimmers Competing in a Frozen Vermont Lake.
Oh, gee.
From February 24th. Here we go. In Newport, Vermont. Plunging into a frozen lake and swimming laps may not be everyone's good time, but for winter swimmers who return year after year to a northern Vermont lake near the Canadian border, there's nothing better. This is, you're gonna love this, the 10th annual Memphremagog Winter Swimming Festival kicked off back over a week ago with a 200-meter or 218-yard freestyle race in a narrow pool cut from the ice. But the festivities started Thursday, and on Friday morning, some of the 180 participants swam a lap wearing a decorated hat. One person said, it was amazing. It was a highlight of my ear from a lady named Andy Nelson from Arlington, Virginia, after she swam 25 meters in the hat competition. It makes me happy. She put on all the events over the 3 days, and it said it's more about the people and the camaraderie than the ice and water. And there's a few other things here, like, some other people have competed here for a long time and years and all that there as well. But other than that, it's a pretty neat idea, though. I love how this says near the last part. Let's see. One other person named Margaret Gadzig said, it's the vibe. We have had so much fun here. We're amongst friends. Now, keep this in mind that water and ice swimming is defined as swimming in water that's 41 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius or less, according to the organizers.
That's not as warm as the Polar Bear Club, though.
No. It's not.
They go in the frigid waters even colder than 41 degrees.
Exactly. That's the reason why this could be or less. So there you go.
Yeah, for sure.
The International Winter Swimming Association lists 9 such events around the world this season on its website, and including the place in Vermont being the only one in the United States. Other competitions have been happening in Sweden, Poland, Switzerland, and Belgium. And in March, there's even going to be one in Estonia.
Wow.
They have claimed that in Vermont, the actual temperature of the water is 30.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is negative 0.08, 0.8, I should say, 0.8 Celsius. So it's just under 1 degree Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
It's microscopic slushy. We call it totally cold. And at its coldest, the coldest swim in the world, said Phil White, the director of the Kingdom Games, who added, it's the only competitive 25-meter ice pool in all of the Americas.
Wow.
And they said that the swimmers were escorted out of the frozen lake in robes, then stripped down to their suits just before plunging in. Once they finished, the escorts handed them towels and robes before they were walked to a nearby warming building.
Yeah.
I would think you would want to warm back up after swimming in freezing cold water. Yeah.
Why are they even in suits? They should just go in there totally nude. I mean,
I
really.
know.
We
It'd be
get
hilarious if they.
It would give
Yeah,
more of the experience, that chilling feeling,
exactly. So
I
there
mean,
you
come
go.
on, really? We should just go totally nude. It's just so much
You
easier.
might as well at this point. So there you go.
Wow.
Finally, I'm going to give one last article at this time here. This is a very short one, but it's a really simple one. The Philadelphia Phillies are going to scrap their $1 hot dog nights that because of an unruly fan behavior.
Oh,
As you
wow.
can see, here's an awesome image of the Philly fanatic here with the hot dog cannon. Okay, basically, this was done here just a couple days ago. In Philadelphia, for more than a quarter of a century, Phillies fans considered dollar hot dog night among its best ballpark promotions, but the teams now decided it was the worst. WURST. Good
Wow.
play of words. The hot dog days of April, when Philly weather is cold and the wieners are a steal, are gone.
Wow.
So officially did the promotion. A statement from the team said the change was made based on the organization's ongoing commitment to provide a positive experience for all fans in attendance. So what wasn't positive about that? Well, checked out Frankfurters, some unruly Phillies fans began chucking their favorite meat during a game last year from the Hatfield Corporation. And the dogs soared like cans of corn throughout the stands and onto the field. The demand for the discount dogs also led to clogged lanes, if not arteries, on the concourse, and the cramped spaces led to security and safety concerns.
Who needs snowballs, right? Yeah.
Who needs snowballs? Yeah. And apparently, this April 11th game last season turned into the Philly food fight when fans who are largely good naturedly tossed their ballpark franks in several sections, leading to multiple ejections from the park.
You notice that it has nothing to do with cheesesteak. Oh, sure, they wouldn't toss cheesesteak into the aisles, but
No,
they'll toss weenies in there and think that
yeah,
that's okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Like,
It wasn't just the throwing, said John Weber, the senior vice president on Philly's ticket operations projects. It's the concourse. The crowds were of everybody being at the same X amount of stands. But obviously, the throwing was a little bit of a tipping point. I mean, they didn't really need to slash prices these days to pack in the crowds, but they started this promotion 27 years ago. It's just that everything just went downhill last year.
notice it said, to be frank, the
To be
Phillies don't necessarily need to slash prices these days to pack, but it says to be frank.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, sure, add a little hot dog humor into the article.
Of course, they gotta have some hope we need them. I
Uh,
love this. Phillies doggedly stuck with a food frenzy deal throughout the decades, and eventually got 3 million fans last year, and then scheduled $3 dog nights for 2 of the April games and 1 May weeknight game. And then they decided, the idea originally was more family oriented, like 4, 5, or 6 people having in this concession stand item, and so it became big though. Let's see. I'm trying to read a few other things real quick. Let's skip through here. Let's see. Phil's Kevin had the raw,
I love that
all
one.
the days here.
The unpopular move failed to cut the mustard with fans.
Yeah, exactly. Another joke here. There we go. Even the highest branches of state government. Yeah. A senator from Pennsylvania, Bob Casey, responded to a writer for the Crossing Road website who complained about the decision with a post on social media that just read, "I agree. More dollar dog nights at Phillies. Let's do this,
right? Yeah, go Bob Casey.
Casey was a hot dog hero with one more dog night instead of the schedule.
Oh, that's terrible. Even the Philly fanatic is probably crying in his bed now.
You think that's bad? Phillies fans are still grilled the decision on social media. In fact, by mid-afternoon, an apparel shop in the Philly area already had a T-shirt made lamenting the decision with the inscription "R.I.P. Dollar Dog Night. Pork flew, heads rolled." Our goal is always to give a great fan experience, Mr. Weber once again said. If you were there at the game, it was not a great experience.
I say they need to have dollar cheesesteak nights. If you're gonna get rid of the hot dogs, at least do dollar cheesesteak nights so everybody
I agree.
You're in Philadelphia, for crying out loud,
Exactly, yeah.
Come on, and everybody.
Yeah, they're still saying that other ballparks actually do have their cheap hot dog nights, including the Texas Rangers on every Wednesday's home game. Minnesota Twins putting extra buns in the oven for the dollar dogs on Tuesdays home games. Kansas City Royals also has low price dogs on some of their nights, though.
See, now the Philly Fanatic needs to dress up as a hot dog to protest.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully, our fans will still come out and view 2 hot dogs for $5 as a value and support the team for those 2 April dates that we have.
2 for $5. Look at that. 2 for a hot dog.
Yeah. And as I mentioned here, if you saw at the very beginning, yes, that's a hot dog lunch at the Philly Fanatics. Yep. Right there. So there you go.
It's the Philly Fanatic. Like I said, get rid of the chef's hat and dodge yourself a hot dog outfit there, Philly Fanatic, because you need to come back and make a statement, you know?
Exactly. There you go. Okay.
Well, there you have it. All right. Well, not too bad on those articles there. That's pretty good.
I think I got at least one more. I'm just going to go to a different one here. You're going to like this one here.
Okay.
Let's bring it up.
Time for one more.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the screen for that one. Give me a second here.
On it. And in the meantime, we always appreciate any comments. If you've been watching with us, please do drop us a line and tell us how you like the show. Give a thumbs up, and of course, remember to check in with us every weekend on the Saturdays with Scott McVay and Jay. There you go.
There we go. Okay, this last story that I'm going to share today. Birthday scratch-off will win an Illinois woman $1 million.
Wow.
This was again reported just a couple of days ago. Illinois woman who used her favorite color to select a scratch-off lottery ticket for her birthday scored a big $1 million prize. The woman told the lottery officials that she stopped at a BP station on South Harlem Avenue in Palos Heights on her birthday to buy some gas. And while inside the store, she noticed this $25 diamond crossword 10X ticket that was purple, her favorite color. So she started by the ticket as a birthday to herself. She scratched the ticket in her car. She kept seeing wins that get bigger and bigger. And when you got to the end, she realized it was worth a whole $1 million. I couldn't believe it. So I went back to the gas station to double check. It was real. And I just started crying, and my legs felt like noodles. I didn't think we'll be able to drive home, she said. And she continues, my husband and I work hard to provide for our family and want to be able to give our kids all the opportunities the world has to offer. This will make my difference in our lives and in theirs. Never in a million years I think my life would never change in an instant like this.
There you go.
I thought that was a really nice.
Makes me want to go out and get
story.
A ticket on my birthday. Maybe that'd be the luck of the draw, you know?
There you go. Yeah. Well,
you know what?
I got a birthday coming up. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying makes me want to go out there and buy a scratch-off ticket, but only on my birthday, like you said. You know, if you got a birthday coming up, Scott, that'd be a good idea.
Oh, yeah. I know. I actually do have one coming up next month, so there you go.
See, by then you'll be buying a scratch-off ticket. I think the most I ever won off a scratch-off ticket was $50. I think that's the most I ever won.
That's actually happened to me, too, though. In fact, it was actually my grandmother, may she rest in peace, though, she actually gave me a ticket that was worth $50 that, so actually she had to pre-scratch it off, says, why don't you go ahead and use this money as my son, grandson. So there you go. And I always thanked her for that as well, too. So there you go.
There you go. Well, we hope you're enjoying the show so far. We're already in the second half hour of our program already. And that's one of the segments you'll see pretty much every week is weird news articles, of course, news of the weird. And Scott, tell them what's coming up next week. What you got going for some entertainment?
I'm thinking about streaming maybe at least a classic retro video game or two. That's a possibility there as well.
Yeah, Scott's got access to a lot. So with him streaming it, there's no way that anybody can say, "Hey, you stole this long play off of us."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Once you stream the game, you guys get to choose to see what kind of score Scott's going to get, if it's higher or lower, on the nose or whatever. We'd like to have your predictions for that. And if you're on the nose, you don't get a special prize. You just get great recognition. We'll give you a thumbs up and we'll heart your comment for it. So
there you go.
Yes, it's going to be definitely retro games with McVay there. Yeah. And then, of course, we'll be talking about retro toys and games as well.
Oh, yeah. So
So not only are you going to see some long play stuff, some video footage, but we're going to be talking about some of the games that we grew up with. In fact, I've got some board games in the back here.
Yes, I even got a card game right behind me here too. There, among other things as well.
There you go. And every once in a while, sometimes, folks, you're going to see a kitty jump in Scott's lap.
Okay, hold on. Right, actually, she's right here. There she is.
Oh,
This is Minnie. Say hi, everyone. There you go.
hello, cutie.
That is
Look
Minnie.
at that face. It's like
Yeah, such a cute little cat. She's going to lay with me for a while here, okay?
Saturdays with McVay and Jay and Kitty.
Yep.
And
Little Minnie girl.
yeah, isn't that cute?
Yes,
She's
she
always
is.
welcome into the program. And boy, oh boy, when you have a black cat cross your path, in this case, it ain't unlucky. It's very lucky.
In our case, it is. So, yeah, there you go.
Do you believe that story of the unlucky black cat thing?
Not completely. No, not
I
really.
don't understand how somebody could say that if a black cat crosses your path, you get 7 years bad luck, like breaking a mirror, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I'll give you a little hint, a little story about Miss Minnie here. About nearly 9 years ago, I found her at a shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And she was actually had just given a whole bunch of litter to little kittens, but she was put into what they called a Lonely Hearts Club. No one really wanted her.
Oh,
And as soon as I saw her, I knew I had to have this little cat. And she has been the most lovable kitty cat to me as well for this past almost 9 years now.
fantastic.
Yes, it is.
That's a great story. And you've been with each other since, and you've got a bond that can never be broken.
Exactly, though. Yes.
So every once in a while you'll see a cat. If you see a cat jumping across Scott, just like the cat jumped over Scott.
Actually, I pulled him onto me, so there you go.
Right. But for some reason, if a cat just decides to just like jump over Scott's head, to try to go whoop, don't freak out. It's just Scott's cat having fun,
Very true. Yeah.
So it's like, how high can I jump over my master's head?
Oh, she doesn't. She's not much of a jumper, but that's all right.
Okay. Well,
she'll crawl though, but she won't probably do jumping.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another segment of what we might be doing from week to week is having Scott's games on and long play, and then what else that we've talked about?
Maybe some funny music. I'm not sure though. That's a possibility.
Well, yeah, we also have to kind of watch out for copyright, as
that's true. Yeah, so that's the reason why it's a maybe. We'll have to do a wait and see on that there as well.
Most definitely. And one of the weeks that we're going to be on, I'd like to get our tier masters. Scott is one of our tier masters on Wipe Those Tears every Wednesday night at 9:00. Yeah. What is this, your third week in a row with us now, or fourth?
Close to 4, I think. So there you go.
Wow, yeah. How time flies. A month goes by. Mr. Mcvay has given his critiques on some of the games from, like, I think you started on the
we're in the F section is when I came in, so there you go.
All right, so you were started with the F, and now we're in the J's.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow! And and don't forget to definitely tune in to Wipe Those Tears this week, because we've got some really good games coming up that we're going to be critiquing, some classics.
Yeah, especially a lot of Jeopardies.
3 Jeopardies in a row, and they're really good ones too. But before we even get to that one, we've got the dun 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 Jaws.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the Jaws for the Nintendo game, that was freaking. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, it may be a whole totally different, way of doing that game, but it was still a classic. It was still fun.
That's true. Yeah. That's true, though.
And then you just got to kill the shark with your boat,
Exactly. Yeah.
But the time, everybody said it was the timing of the way the ship to get them. You just couldn't,
Yeah.
So timing is everything, unfortunately, and you got to really hit it on a hot note there.
This is true. Yeah.
So we'll definitely, and like I said, if we get Gianni Pizzi and Mark Leota, and of course Brandon Bogard with Scott and myself on a Tier Masters reunion, we can have fun again talking about some of the stuff that we've done already. And
so far.
And once we finish the NES games, yes, folks, we are going to be doing different tiers down the road. So don't worry about it. We will get to the end of these games, and just be patient with us. I mean, I'm learning a lot, Scott. One of the things I've noticed that with what happened. Oh,
yeah, Kitty. She's just sitting next to me.
Oh, okay. Wow. The camera went.
Yeah, that's why I moved it, so no worries.
Okay. One of the thing I noticed is when we were doing these NES games is how much history is being covered on these
Yeah,
games that I didn't even know about. Like I said, half of those of the 710 games, I probably only had maybe 30 of them.
that's true. And keep in mind, I'd never actually owned a NES, but my cousins did. So that's how I was able to get to play vicariously through them as well, though.
Well, now you have the emulator. Do you like the emulator with all the games on it?
It's pretty good that way, yeah. So
Yeah.
there we go. Try to get her back into view. She was about ready to crawl across my keyboard. That's why, you little silly little girl. Yes, you were. So there you
I'm not
go.
getting away from the camera, Daddy.
Like that though too. I actually, whenever I was growing up, I was more of a Genesis player and all that there as well. But that's
Yeah.
okay. And I guess you could say I became kind of a Sega man. But there we go. And eventually, I finally got back to Nintendo and all that stuff. So there you go.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, we've got some comments here too. So let's
Oh,
take.
nice.
Our buddy is here. That's Brandon Bogart. He goes by Emu Inuyasha.
Good.
And so far, we've graded 260 NES games out of the 710 we have to grade.
Ah, that's good though. So we're about a third of the way.
Third of the way. So I at tonight on this edition here, Brandon Bogard, you are officially our stat person for our show. Not only is he a tier master, but he becomes the stat person for our show as far as how many games we've already accomplished. We've got our AVGN expert in Gianni. Scott,
Yeah.
I don't know. Scott, we'll call you the emulator expert because
Probably, or the old school guy. There you go.
guy. That's right. Because pretty much, we got the group in there that, and that's good. We get a good variety of people in there. Mark Leota's the Mario man,
Mhm, yeah.
Johnny is the fish band person of the AVG top. Now he also says yes, but we got to decide soon if we're going to continue on going into June or taking the break in May. Yes, that's
True, yeah.
a question, and we got time, luckily. Oh yes,
Wow.
that's
No problem.
yeah, and that's something I think after the meeting after our episode, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Because what I'm going to do for my tier masters, like I did on Christmas, is give them the week of Easter Sunday off.
That's a good idea too, though. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's coming up. We got like about what 4 weeks until that now.
3 weeks because it's March 31st. It's the last.
Yeah, that's still 4 weeks though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this weekend is the first. It's now the third Sunday of Lent. So with
Yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, so the week of March 31st, no wipe those tears. Now you might not see us on Easter Monday for DMS, but you'll probably see us on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Exactly.
That's a definite, Also, too, I wanted to let everybody know that on Wednesdays, I will have my co-hosts take over a show each week and on a rotational basis. So each Wednesday, you're going to see Brian Snow, and then you'll see Mark Leota, and you will also see Brandon Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the 3 weeks covered for this so far. So Brian Snow is up first on March 6th. Then Mark Leota takes on the 13th, and then Brandon Martin comes on the 20th. It's just something I'm giving my co-hosts an opportunity to host a show. I'm not stepping down anytime soon or anything.
No, we're just taking a small break here. That's not so bad.
Sometimes, yeah, because even in that middle of the week, my mom likes to go to an early dinner, so we like to just spend a lot of quality time. And sometimes at that 4:00 hour, it's best to go and have an early dinner before the traffic.
There you go.
The restaurant, and it's already crowded because everybody's sitting down at the same time you're trying to sit down.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we want to basically definitely get that, covered. And so that's, Brian Snow says, hey, anytime you just let me know. And I'll be like, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm very grateful. I've got 3 backup hosts. It's good to have backup, whenever you need it.
Good.
Yeah. And Scott, hey, if you ever want to become a backup host for DMS, let us know.
If you'll let me check it out, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, definitely have you on. Oh, we were supposed to have you on before to promote the show, and we totally forgot to have you on.
I understand. So, that's all right then.
Yeah, but that's okay. We discussed it Friday night yesterday. We went over like a little bit of a short format, and even with the show that is coming to the end in like 10 minutes, this is going to be a fast hour.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, when we have the formats of the segments of each of the show, it'll go on, and we'll kind of divvy up into like 15-minute segments here. Or Scott, I don't know how you're gonna do the long play. You're gonna play one whole game of each. And
Probably a few minutes of a game, to be honest with you. Then we'll see how much I can score in that segment, though. So
yeah, definitely.
I figure there's not going to be any way I can do the entire game and just like less, or even less than an hour, depending on the title, though. So I'll probably just play a few minutes to show it off, though, and see so people can see what this old game was about there as well.
Yeah, because you couldn't play Super Mario Brothers in an hour and try to get through 8 levels. Not even
unless you use the warps. But there you go.
That's about it, right? If you could just no, you'd have to put the game genie on, and
yeah, that's how it's going to work. Yeah. She went away.
on that next on that one too. So definitely, and we'll take a look at the other things that if you want us to include in the show, definitely drop us a line. We'd love to hear your feedback.
We would love comments and even suggestions here. So anything will help us out to make this, an experience that everyone can enjoy. There you go.
This is not just an hour of us giving it to you. We'd like to have interaction with everybody as well. So if you'd like to be on for an hour and promote whatever you want to promote, Saturdays with Mcvay and Jay, let us know, and we'll to you, and we'll grill you, and we'll have a good time, and pass the hot dog weenies around, and
there you go.
We'll have our own Saturday dollar night hot dog day,
and maybe we'll get lucky with a lottery ticket. No, who knows?
Right, for sure, man. Maybe we'll hit that $1 million, and we'll all retire early,
and try to rebuild a crooked pub. How about that?
There you go. We'll also make a statue of ourselves and send it to them once they rebuild.
There you go.
A statue. It's like, hi, hello.
Yes.
Hello there. We'll also something else too. I think we were going to do as well. I think we were going to talk about a specific game show host or some. I don't know.
Or even a classic show here we all loved here as well too, though.
Yep. So we'll definitely have that starting all next week. Anything that there's no. The only thing we don't want. I'm not going to really talk about is religion, politics. We can talk about sex.
Nothing controversial. We don't want to rile anything up, or we don't want to do any stupid hate speech or anything like that. That's
Saturday. It's a time to relax and rise. Hey, we can even talk about sex and the great way of saying Trojan condoms. Anybody want a Trojan condom? Yeah.
Trojan man. Okay.
We can start talking about like beef jerky if we really wanted to. It's like, what's your favorite flavor of beef jerky? Oh, mine's moose.
Ooh, yeah,
moose and squirrel jerky, and speaking of which, and if you're a fan of jerky, and I don't care what kind of jerky you like, there's a guy out there that literally has a business where he makes all kinds of jerky, from kangaroo jerky to deer to reindeer, moose, squirrel. I mean, you name it. If it's edible, he'll make a jerky for you.
There you go. And we even have a nearby jerky location here in just the next town over as well, though, that way too. So they have a good little business that goes there as well too.
I know. And for the love of God, they almost all taste the same. Now, I've tried samples of some of the more outrageous characters.
Yeah.
Like kangaroo jerky. And I must honestly say that it just tastes the same like a beef jerky or a chicken jerky.
Exactly.
It's got that same bite, that same,
I know. Yeah. I've also had like other types of meat sticks, especially like elk and deer and then the venison. I think I've even tried once to try alligator, but that's pretty good too.
Yeah, alligator has probably got a nice tough consistency on it, probably. Yeah.
Pretty much, exactly.
I mean, if you've eaten gator tail before, and we all say gator tail tastes like chicken. I mean, anything tastes like nowadays. What does it taste like? Well, it tastes like chicken. Well, that really don't give me any kind of really, detailish answer to it.
Yeah.
Because if I say it tastes like chicken and you say it tastes like chicken, and we have somebody here who says, well, what does it taste like? Well, it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, there you go.
That defeats the whole purpose, man.
Exactly. Everything tastes like chicken. Why?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's like those Harry Potter suckers,
Oh yeah, the Bernie, or more like the every flavor jelly beans. I'm guessing. Are you thinking of it?
Jelly Belly flavors. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Bernie Bots beans. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so for that reason, you don't know which one you're really getting into. There's like a 50,000 flavors of Jelly Belly beans.
I know. Yeah. Now I have my favorite flavors from years past. Though my favorite Jelly Belly flavor, believe it or not, is butter popcorn. That's my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
It comes as close to butter popcorn as you could eat.
Exactly. Yes, and it's very good. It was a hint of sweet. With second place being a good Dr. Pepper flavored jelly bean. So there you go.
I like to drink Dr. Pepper.
I love Dr. Pepper. I mean, considering that I live just a short, not too far away from Texas and all that, and all that, even from the Panhandle of Texas. Yeah, it's almost a guarantee you're going to have someone who loves Dr. Pepper. So there you go.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Well, hey, that's going to wrap it up for this first show, Scott.
Yeah, that's a fast hour. There we go.
Well, when you're breaking it in and you're trying to break the ice, we've got Emu here. Brandon Bogart is here tuning in, and we had another person coming in there, and hopefully we'll get some more people. And like I said, just keep dropping the comments of what you'd like to see each and every week. We'll definitely have that. We'll even look at playing cards. That's
a good idea. Yeah.
Playing cards. We'll look at bicycle playing cards, because Bicycle is the company that's gone back as far as, I don't know, 1940, 1950.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, even farther than that, maybe.
They have all kinds, from the very small, tiny, outside to the very big Card Shark bicycle cards.
Exactly. So, yes.
Definitely. We'll look at a lot of interesting things that you never would have thought would be reportable, for that matter, or even existed, for that matter. We'll look at that weird stuff that you never thought for any of those things. Hey, we may even look at edible socks, for that matter.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea.
So it's all coming up on the next weeks of Saturdays with Mcvay and Jay. I'm Jason, and Scott. Thanks again. We'll definitely catch you next week. From all of us here at the David 3000 Network, good night, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Good luck, everyone.